What's good, people, and welcome back to the channel. We've got some updates from the Young Philly case, and boy, legally speaking, when people said Young Philly's career is over, well, for the foreseeable future, that really could be the case, unless during his upcoming December court hearing, they decide not to indict. And the reason is because if he's indicted, then the trial can take up to 2 years. In a recent article that just came out, it states that shocking pictures from the Young Philly court case allegedly show the aftermath of violent acts carried out by the YouTuber, Prosecutors claim. The 29-year-old has been charged with rape and SA, with investigators claiming to have extremely strong evidence against the social media star. Western Australia Police Prosecutor Julius DiPietro is leading the case and claims prosecutors have photographs of the alleged victim which show history of what we say is violent acts. Mr. DiPietro told the court during Philly's first hearing this month that no ordinary person could consent to what the images allegedly show. The prosecutor added, "We say those photos and what is alleged in the allegation is effectively beyond the pale, beyond the norm of what could be considered or entertained to be a consensual act." So we've got an update on the word of the prosecutor. So based on what they're saying, it's highly likely that the woman has suffered severe injuries, because people nowadays are fully into rough play and whatnot, but there's a difference, right? And of course these prosecutors have that in mind. Then we can only presume that her body must literally be black and blue from these forms of injuries. Prosecutors also say they have seen CCTV footage that confirms Philly was with the woman on September 28 when she alleges the assault took place. The court heard that the 20-year-old woman was seen leaving a venue with Philly as investigators tried to pinpoint the exact location of the pair. Initial reports say it is likely to be outside the Bar 1 nightclub where Philly was performing and his accuser was partying with a friend. Additional footage goes on to show the woman leaving another building alone, which may be the hotel where the alleged offences took place. Mr. DiPietro also claims that another witness is being actively looked at by police. So, looks like they also have somebody else who could be a witness, which I'm not sure what that means at this stage. Does that mean someone else was in the room with them? Does that mean they're looking at her friend who spoke to her afterwards? Court documents from the trial have also revealed the timeline cops are using to investigate the alleged hotel attack. The 20-year-old woman is said to have been partying at the Bar 1 nightclub in Perth on September 27th. The university student was with a friend in the VIP section until the early hours of the following day. She was said to have been drinking throughout the night. Philly was the guest performer at the same club on that evening. Once the rapper had stopped performing, the young woman is believed to have met up with him. Prosecutors then say the pair went back to a hotel room together. The alleged victim then claims she was SA'd and raped inside the room on September the 28th. So it looks like she went to the room by her own will. But then when she was in the room, God knows why she even went to that room, because it's pretty obvious what you're going to that room for with someone like him, right? But then she's under the influence. And if you're severely under the influence, yeah, people say, oh, I would never do this. When you're very heavily under the influence, essentially anything can happen, right? Because you're not in your right state of mind. You're not in a state of awareness. But nevertheless, she's decided to go there. So that shows so far an element of willingness. But of course, consent to a sexual act isn't granted just because you went into a private room with someone. And this is where the contention will go along, because unless there's CCTV in that room, it's all gonna come down to Philly's word vis the young woman's word. And whose is it gonna hold up in court? We don't know. And now unfortunately for Philly as well, even more bad press is coming out around his name and essentially pulling the mask from behind the young Philly, Mr. Lovely Bubbly character, and allegedly exposing who the real Andrés Felipe Valencia Barrientos really is. It's alleged that the YouTuber told a 12-year-old boy who was terminally ill that he was there to support him, and he made a promise to him that you'll see in this video now.
I know, innit? This is probably a little surprise for you, but I just wanted to say I hope you're well. Also, thank you for... Be quiet for once! Tough times never last. God willing, you're going to be okay sooner rather than later. Yeah, and I just wanted to give you my support and tell you that I love you and I'm here for you. And yeah, I hope all is well, my guy. Yeah, unfortunate what's happening with you, but like I say, my brother, try to stay positive the best you can. And when you're up for it, let me know and I'll whoop your ass at Fortnite.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh Mason! He didn't whoop your ass at Fortnite. Nearly. Oh my god! Well, I think we have got a really happy child. Yes! All right, Mace, the telly's gonna fall.
Now the mother has came out now and said that the rapper instead ghosted her son and even at one point told him to shut up after the son had allegedly joined multiple group chats, essentially a Twitch stream and a Kick stream. So he joined there, he's saying, hey Philly, it's me Mason, do you remember me? Hey Philly. And then he was dismissed essentially and told to be quiet or whatnot, allegedly by his moderators. And then eventually he ends up on a stream where Philly himself reacts and said, hey Mason, shut up, right? Now, giving Philly the benefit of the doubt here, given his popularity, I genuinely don't think he would even remember the name of the kid, even though he should, because he's the one that went on camera and made this promise, right? But again, if you're in this place of indulging in certain activities and a certain lifestyle, your brain is constantly out of a state of awareness, so your memory is going to be messed up. So he probably don't even remember who this kid is, but now it's just more tarnish and black tar essentially on his name. And if you haven't seen the previous video I done about young Philly, you need to go check that out, where it talks about why people's opinion of you matters, because that is such a lie that we're told throughout all our lives, that people's opinion of you doesn't matter. People's opinion literally dictates so much of what you get and how you're treated, right? So yeah, be sure to go check that out at the end of this video. And now just one last thing that actually seems to work in the favor of young Philly in regards to the court case is, after the alleged assault, the woman phoned her friend at 5:31 a.m. on that night, right, after leaving the Perth hotel. And detectives believe this was immediately after the assault took place. However, she made that short phone conversation to her friend and didn't mention a single word. Now again, when it comes to cases like these, actually specifically when it comes to cases like these, people do not always open up because of the shame, the guilt and shock, right? But then again, it's like, if this is your close friend, why didn't you tell them? You're not telling a stranger, it's not like sitting in a room with the police. But still, you have to keep that in mind. But this will be something that will work in the favor of young Philly. So back to the start of the video when I said young Philly's career looks like he's over, that isn't an exaggeration, because it states here his second hearing isn't due to get underway until December, with a potential trial set to take up to 2 years to finally begin. Not 2 years to even take place, 2 years to even begin, right? So 2 years from now is October 2026. 2 years from when that initial date of his next court hearing is December 2026. And because of the nature of his charges, he ain't going to be able to appear on anybody's platform, because if he is found guilty, then they're going to be tarnished. On top of that, everything in the content creation industry, the side that he's in, because it's the mainstream side, all relies on good public image, all relies on sponsorships and deals, right? Corporate deals. And corporate deals and sponsorships will not want nothing to do with anything with Philly, regardless of his situation. And now, like you'll see, his friends will come out and say they can't speak on the case like Chunks did. And when it comes to something like the content creation industry, you gotta realize it's just as fake, if not sometimes worse, than industries like the music one. People only care about themselves and their image, right? Now, of course, that makes sense to a degree, because people want to protect their income and their reputation, because people have families to feed, people have lives to live, right? But Mr. Philly over here has seemingly built up very, very, very close relationships with people. Now, who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Yes, they may well be supporting him massively, right? They may be doing everything possible that they can for him. But publicly, you ain't gonna see that. You are not gonna see that. Why? Because people don't want to mess up their bag. And the bag comes first. Now, again, like I said, it's understandable, but only to an extent. Because I believe if you're somebody who is a true friend, then now is the time when it matters. Now is the time when you speak up. Now is the time. People saying, oh, you can't speak up because of legal issues and that. They can say whatever they want if they truly want to, but they don't, and they will hide behind things like, oh, it's a legal case so I can't speak on it. That is not true. You're all the way on the other side of the world. You are able to speak on it. You're able to give an opinion on it, but they won't and they don't want to. So that is why you will not see Philly on any shows anymore. You won't see him with all his friends, his homies, all of that. You ain't gonna see that no more. That is over. So for Philly now, he's gonna be in a very, very dark place when it comes to the young Philly, Mr. Bubbly character on all the podcasts and all these shows and hosting and that. His rap career though, of course, that I doubt is gonna take a hit. He still probably would get booked at venues, but the problem is he can't leave Australia. So what's he gonna do? He's trapped. It actually genuinely looks like this guy's career is over, and God forbid it's over a lie. If he has done what he's accused of, which, like I said, many people believe he has because of who Mr. Andrés actually is and not because of who this young Philly character is, right? So a lot of people are believing it and think he's capable of this. Me personally, I don't know the guy, and just because someone's arrogant and rude doesn't necessarily mean that they will stoop to that level, right? And doing that sort of thing. But then again, how do you know? They could have been on an ego trip, a power trip. These things happen. People think that just because somebody can get an abundance of girls, they believe that, oh, they would never do something like that. Yes, there's two types of people who carry out these types of acts. There's those people who do it for desperation, and there's those people who do it as almost like revenge. Revenge for their ego being hurt when they are told no, right? You can go study the psychological reports of SA cases like this and you will see these are the two types of motivations that drive these sorts of acts. And lastly, man, the UK musician's lawyer Seamus Rafferty has confirmed that Philly has managed to find a home in Perth which he is set to stay in for the next 6 months until the second hearing. Anyway, if you want to see more about this case and keep up to date and other interesting videos on current affairs and social commentary, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and like this video.